After fighting off that petty thief on their way back to school, the two best friends took a look at each other after feeling a throb in their heads. But something wasn't right. Bakugou was looking at Bakugou and Kirishima was looking at Kirishima. What is happening? The blonde-headed boy asked. Kirishima made a face at his now very deep and gruff voice. He looked down and noticed his tanned skin was the slightest bit paler and his clothes had changed. He turned his gaze towards the position where his best friend should be, but only so, himself. Shut the hell, shitty hair. My head is pounding, Bakugou said while holding onto his now red hair. He looked toward his friend to see a frantic look on his face. Quit making me look like a bitch, Kirishima. I can't help it. Not after what just happened, Kirishima said. Bakugou rolled his eyes and huffed before walking over to his friend and dragging him into a reflective window. We just switched, buddy, you idiot. That damn thief must have hit us while we were distracted. Bakugou took a look at his now new body and cringed. Not that the thought of Kirishima was ugly or something, but he wanted to be in his own body. It just felt wrong having someone else's dick. Well, then we should just go get back to the dorm and find Aizawa sensei. Maybe he can help. Bakugou agreed, and the boys started their journey back to the dormitory. As they walked, they took notice of a few things. All this damn extra steering out my hair. You said that, but my palm feel kinda sweaty. Fuck! I keep pinning my either cheek. Stupid shark thief. Why the hell am I getting a random ass print? Hey, nitroglycerin work like Viagra shitty hair. Just fucking get used to it and learn how to control it. Hey, I have your hair, man. Wait, does that mean that you have shitty hair? Hey, shut the head up. Is that caramel? I said shut the head up. Well, you'll be back in normal in, let's say, 2 weeks. Aizawa bluntly said. 2 weeks? The boy screamed. What? How do you know? Bakugou screamed, trying to jump onto Aizawa with Kirishima holding him back. To anyone else, it would look like Bakugou holding Kirishima back. Oh, how the table have kinda turned. I know it because officers have been trying to catch this thief for some time now. Even I've run into him some occasion. His quirk is called swapped. You take your soul and spirit and place it in a different form, obviously. It doesn't much harm, but it at least for some time. Don't worry though, you'll be back to normal eventually. Their teacher explained. Till then, just thought it out for the next 2 weeks. Dismissed. The boys ground and walked back to the common room floor. They walked in to find a few other classmates who thankfully didn't see them too suspicious of anything. The boys went their separate ways, going to their own dorms to soothe their still aching heads. Kirishima was the first to come out of his room. After contemplating whether he should take a shower or not, he chose the latter. He could survive the rest of the day without one. He just worried about bathing later. Besides, he doesn't mind smelling like a sweet treat for the next few hours, and not having to see and wash his best friend's body and dick. He walked down into the kitchen to find it empty. He was glad he wouldn't have to explain his situation to anyone. If anyone saw Bakugou acting like the sweet bean that Kirishima is, then I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have questions. Looking around, he saw a batch of brownie left on a tray. He couldn't help himself and went in to grab one. Unfortunately, he wasn't aware of how chewy they were, and after talking a few chunks, he realized that the treat was as tough as glue. He couldn't even open his mouth. And just so his luck, Bakugou's girlfriend has walked in, seemingly back for a training session. Hey babe, you said. You went up to who you thought your boyfriend was and gave him a hug along with a peck on his cheek. How's your day? Kirishima grew nervous. It didn't know how to handle the situation. It will totally tell you that it was actually him in your boyfriend's body, but the brownie sealed his mouth shut. He resorted to going with the flow and just nodding with a nervous smile. A very Bakugou smile. Tiring? You asked. Kirishima nodded his head. Okay. Well, same for me, but I still have enough energy for a movie night. So I'll see you in the common room, okay? Again, the now blonde nodded his head again. You smiled at him and wanted to give him another hug. To your shock, you felt something poking you when you gave your boyfriend a hug. You looked down and noticed a pretty impressive print through his sweat and smirked. You looked at your, quote, boyfriend and gave him a sly look. You sure you're tired, Saki? Cause your friend down there said you were down for something else. Kirishima began to shake due to his nervousness now. He couldn't have the damn boner. 1. Nitroglycerin is apparently 12 times stronger than Viagra. And 2, he can't relieve himself. Looking at it, touching his best friend's dick was wrong and weird, even if it was attached to him now. What Kirishima wasn't prepared for was you being so willing to help relieve his stiffy. On the bright side, it relieved his hard-on. On the not so bright side, he'd be faking his best for a girl. Big no-no. He definitely wasn't prepared for your hand to travel down his torso and grab onto his, well, Bakugou's day. You still tired, Saki? Kirishima couldn't help himself. He felt he could stop. He threw his head back and enjoyed the stimulation, even though he knew it was wrong. All he knew was that he left this whole thing play though. He wouldn't have to worry about walking around with a huge-ass boner. A blush grew on his face as he moaned. He felt you peck at his neck a bit before stopping all your motions. The now blonde looked towards you in confusion and saw you laughter. Okay, sorry. Save it for later tonight, okay? I've gotta freshen up, but I'll see you later, love. You said, before giving him a sweet peck and walking away. Once you were out of sight, Kirishima fanned on his face to try and get rid of his blush. He then quickly ran to the fridge and chugged a few globs of milk down to wash away the brownie. Fuck, was all he said. Did that really just happen? Shit, should it have let that happen? At this point, he didn't know. The man in him said hell no, but the nitroglycerin said otherwise. All Kirishima knew was that apparently he had a movie date to get to. So now, here we are. You and Kirishima, in Bakugou's body, all cuddled up on one of the common room couches during the late hour of the night, watching a movie. Kirishima thought you looked really tempting in your body short and tube top. The way you pushed your chest up against his own as he watched the screen with a smile wasn't aiding Kirishima's mission to relieve his hard-on. Throughout the whole movie, Kirishima watched from time to time how you would rub your legs together. It seems you were growing some urges as well. He couldn't shake his nerves, like, at all. Finally, it was almost the end of the movie. Kirishima had almost made it. All he had to do was finish the last 10 minutes and he would go. Well, honestly, he didn't know yet, but he figured it out later. Unfortunately, the universe had different plans. Kirishima watched as you sat up to grab the remote and turn off the TV. You placed the subject down on the table and faced who you assumed was your boyfriend. You swept your arms around his neck and went to straddle his groin. Listener? Kirishima asked with a shaky voice as he gulped down her nerve. You smirked at him and leaned down to leave kisses all over his neck. Kirishima shook a bit and let out a shudder at your soft lip. Relax, we won't get caught. Sighed, when have you even been afraid to fuck in public? You said. You then went up to start off your session with a hot kiss to Katsuki's lips. Kirishima had wide eyes as you took his lips, but eventually, your sweet taste and bouncy lips make him succumb to your wishes. He places his hands on your waist and he kissed your back. When he opened his mouth, he slid your tongue in, your hand and tongue themselves in his hair. The kiss was fiery and passionate, and eventually you and Katsuki both began to moan into the kiss. His hands traveled to your ass and giving you a firm grip, which made you release a loud moan. Things were definitely heating up now. When Katsuki came back to the dorm, he had already been exhausted by the entire situation. The only thing on his mind was getting some rest to wear off the headache. Hours had passed, and he eventually woke up in the middle of the night. Shit, how long have we been out? He stretched out and yawned a bit before he got up, the mirror hanging on his wall, reminding him of his new body. Oh, right. Shitty hair's body. Gross. Bakugou felt his mouth become dry, and so he planned to get a glass of water from the kitchen. As he walked down the hall, he couldn't help but think about you, his precious girl, the love of his life, who's been with him since childhood and who he's been dating since the second year in junior high. You were with him through it all, and not he could help but feel a little bad that he had to miss movie night. Fuck, did I even tell listener I wouldn't make it to movie night? Crap, he thought. Oh, well, he'd just have to make it up for later. As he walked near the common room, his ear picked a sound. And not just any sound, it was a moan, and he knew exactly whose moan it was, for he had been the cause of those exact sounds, and he's heard them times and times again. Bakugou ran to the common room to find his girlfriend and his body making out and slowly grinding on each other on the couch. He watched his hands travel to grab your ass and bit his lips when he heard his girlfriend pleasured moan. It wasn't gonna lie, the scene before him had turned him on, but what became a huge turn off was the fact that Bakugou knew it wasn't him in there, and knew exactly who was in the damn body. The hell? Bakugou screamed in Kirishima's voice. He watched the two of you jump away from each other in shock until a look of fear flowed through Kirishima, his own eyes. Jeez, Kirishima, you scared us. You said to your actual boyfriend, without knowing it. Bakugou fumed at the fact that you were just making out and were probably about to fuck his best friend, but he couldn't blame you. You called him Kirishima, so you must have not known about the switch. Can I talk to Bakugou really quick, listener? Bleh. Calling someone else by his name was weird, and calling you by your family name was very uncomfortable. We're kinda in the middle of something, so maybe if you could just... Thanks, he said and dragged Bakugou away behind a hallway corridor. He pinned his body up against the wall and got in Kirishima's face as he held the man by his collar. What the hell do you think you're doing kissing my girlfriend? Hey, I'm sorry, didn't mean, she just came onto me. Kirishima explained, while being held into the wall. No shit, she came into you. You're in my body. You're me. I'm her boyfriend. She thought you were me, shitty hair. Bakugou screamed. Kirishima just laughed nervously as Bakugou continued to fume. After venting, Bakugou finally dropped Kirishima back on his feet and pressed the bridge of his nose with 2 fingers. Okay, why the fuck did you not tell her about the quirk? Because, man, your quirk was built in Viagra. Kirishima said in defeat as he threw his hand in the air due to the pent-up frustration. I've had a fucking stiffy ever since I got up in your body. So I thought... You thought you could really use yourself with my girl? Kirishima asked with big, angry eyes. Yes? Kirishima! Alright! Kirishima said. What? Well, what now? We go out there and explain to her what happened so you don't end up fucking her. Kirishima explained as he tried to walk back to you, but Kirishima pulled him back. Okay, but what about my fucking boner? The panther boy asked. Just rub it out. Bakugou exclaimed. No way, I'm not touching your dick. Kirishima rebelled. Why not? I'm clean and big, just saying. I just got a pretty dick, dude. Bakugou said with both hands up in defense. Bakugou? Yeah. Fair. The ex-blonde said. The boys thought about it for a bit before something hit Kirishima like a train. Wait, if you're okay with missing your dick, does that mean you took a look at mine? He asked while shaking Bakugou, his shoulder. What? No, I was napping all day, shitty hair, so relax. And get your damn head off me. Bakugou said while squirming out of Kirishima's hold. Alright, fine, whatever. Let's just go and explain to listener. Kirishima said, Good, good, good. Bakugou said more dramatically. The two boys finally made it back to you, and instead of your boyfriend's body taking a seat next to you, it remained standing. Meanwhile, Kirishima took the seat Katsuki previously had. You looked towards the redhead and then to your boyfriend in a confused look. Suki, are you gonna sit? You asked to Bakugou. I am. Kirishima replied. You looked toward the muscular boy sitting next to you with a raised eyebrow. What? Listen, we got something to tell you. The actual Kirishima said. You looked to your boyfriend with almost a hurt look on your face as to why he was calling you by your family name. The real Bakugou took notice of your sad voice and softened his eyes as you now upset demeanor. I'm actually Kirishima. Your face grew in surprise, and then silence hit the room. The boys gazed your look for a reaction, but nothing other than pure shock. You couldn't even say anything other than, Huh? Yeah, I'm your actual boyfriend. The red hair said. He looked to Kirishima and inspected it closer. Suki? You said while zooming in his face. It's me, teddy bear, relax. Bakugou said while looking away with a blush face as he pushed your face away. You grumbled at his push and took his hands off. Yeah, that's you, you said relaxing. So, you're Katsuki and you're Kirishima? You watched the boys nod their heads and you were settling them until another thought came to mind. Wait. So I was on the couch and I thought, yeah, you were making out with shitty hair burning my body. Bakugou said with a hand behind his neck. Your face jumped in shock once more until it was replaced with anger. You watched as Kirishima's new face became nervous and gave him a shaky chuckle. Kirishima? You seated with slanting eyes before you attempted to jump onto the new blonde. Mid-jump, Bakugou grabbed onto your waist and pulled you back onto his lap. You fought against Katsuki's hold, but alas, it was too strong. No, Rose, settle. Bakugou said with an iron grip on your waist. You finally calmed down until you took notice you were sitting in basically Kirishima's lap. Feeling uncomfortable, you scooted off your boyfriend and sat next to him. Bakugou looked at you with a confused expression that demanded an explanation. Sorry, Suki, but I'm not sitting on your doing anything else. That lovey-dovey until you go back to your own body. You explain. What? That's not fair. You were here all over grinding on him just a few minutes ago. Bakugou whined and pointed at his body. Because I didn't know it wasn't you. Bakugou just grumbled and groaned on you. Your reasoning was fair, but he just wanted his girlfriend. Okay, whatever. Just be pouty. Just, when is this quirk gonna wear off? You asked. Bakugou continued to pout with crossed arm, but luckily Kirishima answered. 2 weeks. He said. Alright then. You said while clapping your hand and standing up gathering Katsuki's attention. For the next 2 weeks, or until you go back to normal, Suki, no touching, no kissing, no overly friendly hug, no hugging, no lap sitting, no... Bakugou listened to you list all the things he couldn't do. As you went on, it just dropped as he realized he wouldn't be able to do all the things he usually does to you for the next 2 weeks. The list went on and on until you finished it with the one final detail. And finally, no sex. What? Bakugou said while standing up. Why? Katsuki, I'm not fucking my boyfriend's best friend's body. No offense, Kiri, he said to the other boy. None taken, he said with his winning smile. Just less short-toothy. Bakugou just mumbled about it until you cut him off. Anyway, I'm going to bed. After this long and frankly awkward day, I think we... Oh, shit. You said, and the boys agreed. You all walked to your respective dorms, but when Bakugou tried following you into your dorm while he was still in Kirishima's body, you stopped him with a hand on his chest. Sorry, Suki, you'll be sleeping in your own dorm for the next 2 weeks. No sleeping together either. You watched as Bakugou became more and more agitated as he huffed. He grumbled as he reluctantly walked all the way to his own dorm room. You giggled as you watched the now red hair walk away and shut your door. You couldn't help but laugh as you lay down on your bed, but 10 minutes passed, and before you could fall asleep, a knock was at your door. Katsuki, I said we can't sleep on my bed together. You said once you opened the door, finding Kirishima's body holding a pillow and blanket. I know, just... Look, if I can't cuddle with you, can I at least sleep on the ground and hold your hand? He said, looking away with an embarrassed blush. I know you say, and holding isn't allowed, but you won't be seeing me since I'll be out of your sight and on the ground. You smiled at how clingy he was being. It was adorable, and you just had to give in. Fine, come in. Katsuki perked up with a small smile and happily followed you into the room. You got comfy on the bed while he set up his little pillow and blanket. You finally dropped your hand down so he could hold onto it, and his hands held a strong grip onto your own. So now, here you were, late at night, cuddling with your boyfriend, in a way. You smiled as you held onto his hand, and couldn't help but giggle when you felt his lips place a sweet kiss to your knuckles. Oh, well, I guess there was nothing wrong with holding hands with your boyfriend's best friends, as long as it's your boyfriend who's in his best friend's body. You couldn't believe it was going to be your life for the next 2 weeks.